Hey Pokemon fans, Real Mama Eagle here, also known as Key, and in this video I'll be talking about my ideal Pokemon party for Generation 8 of Pokemon, Pokemon Sword, and Pokemon Shield. The opinions in this video are my own based off Pokemon I enjoy using in this generation. Keep in mind, no legendaries or competitive aspects will be considered in the selection. Before we get into this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what Pokemon you prefer to use in Generation 8. Now let's get started. In Generation 8, picking a starter is very easy for me. I've said in previous videos, I'm not the biggest fan of this group of starters. They don't do it for me collectively, but when that happens, my fire bias tends to kick in, so I almost always pick Cinderace. In addition to its very nice rabbit-like and human-esque design, I love how it looks, I love its color scheme. I also love its stats. It's got some pretty darn good attack and pretty good speed. It's gonna outspeed a lot of the time, which is such a big advantage. But the versatility is also what I love. It's able to learn fighting moves, ground moves, electric moves, dark moves, just so much variety, and it's always going to outspeed. I think aesthetically it's just the most pleasing of the three, and it definitely helps you throughout the game. I've rarely had my Cinderace get one-shotted, and it's almost always helped me out of tough jams. Applin is a Pokemon that takes so long to find because of its incredibly low encounter rate. Both times I've used Applin in Generation 8, I've had to walk around for about 30 minutes to an hour just to encounter one, and then if that's not enough, you have to wait for a bit because you have to find the right apple to evolve your Applin with. I prefer Appleton a lot of the time, so that's the route I go, but I love the grass and dragon typing. I love its little derpy design, the little apple body. It's just so cute and so original of a design, and I love its appearance. The only real downside to Applin is that it's probably one of the slower Pokemon that you'll see, so it's never going to outspeed. The good news is it's got some tank to it, can definitely take some hits, and with the versatile moves, you're likely to have the upper hand. In addition to that grass and dragon, it can also learn ghost moves, it can learn ground moves, so it's very versatile in battle. It just will never go first. The daycare leader in Gen 8 deserves its flowers because they give you a baby Toxel. And when I first played Gen 8, I was in love because I saw this little purple baby Pokemon that was so cute, and I love the typing of Poison and Electric. Thought that was stellar. And then it evolved into one of my favorite Pokemon in this Pokedex, which is Toxtricity. It's got its regular form and its amped up form, so many ways you can enjoy it. It's got a killer design with a zigzag pattern on its purple body, and I love the fact that it's a laid-back Pokemon that just cares about doing the air guitar on all big moves, so I love its animation in battle. It doesn't really have the best stats ever. It's got killer special attack, but it's pretty mid everywhere else. But again, this Pokemon survives because of special attack and the great versatility with moves. It can also learn fighting moves, it can learn fire moves, so definitely some good special attack versatility if you're not facing just Pokemon that it's strong against. But what's amazing about Toxtricity is the fact that you get so much personality put into a Pokemon. And that's one great thing about Gen 8. You really got to see these Pokemon's personalities, and that's what makes it one of my faves. I actually love the mix and matching you could do with the fossils in Generation 8. I thought it was pretty neat how you could basically tinker and make your own different fossil, and you had a bunch of types to choose from. When picking a water Pokemon in this gen, there are some options, but I do like going with Arctovish. I like the versatility of the water and ice typing. I also like the fact that it can learn rock and ground moves, a great supplement for that Pokemon. It doesn't have the most sexy stats all around, but it does have solid defense and can take a hit. It is a Pokemon that's on the slower side. I don't know why I like all the slower Pokemon in this gen, but it's because they make up with it so much awesomeness elsewhere. But Arctovish is tanky in its own right and does give you that versatility with the water, ice, rock, and ground. So an overall good Pokemon to have. If you can handle the consequences for making excessive noise around this Pokemon, or the fact that you may get a headache, Hatterene is one of my favorite Pokemon to use in Gen 8, and a Pokemon I add to my party almost every time. The psychic and fairy typing is brilliant. The womanly design is also brilliant. It gives a serene Pokemon despite its internal tendencies to rip your heart out. But Hatterene's a fun Pokemon to use for those moves alone. It doesn't have particularly great stats. The stats are actually pretty so if it's in competitive or if you're looking for an edge, it's not going to give you that with statistics, but it's going to give you a lot of versatile moves. It can learn electric moves, it can learn ghost moves. I like the fact that it can even learn mystical fire, and it can learn dark moves, which I think is very, very handy. Hatterene is a Pokemon that has definitely helped me in a ton of battles, but its overall design and overall vibe, despite being creepy, is why I love it so much. For the longest time, I had been begging Game Freak for more Dragon and Ghost Pokemon because I just absolutely love the typing and I think it's so versatile. And they gave it to me in Dragapult with also the coolest design ever and arguably one of the best shinies ever. The Dragapult is my favorite Pokemon in this dex, arguably, and it is just incredible. It's going to outspeed you with speed that is absolutely off the charts. It is almost always going to go first. It is rare when when it does not. It's also got some killer attacks, so it's going to land devastating hits with a learn set that is absolutely amazing. In addition to that obvious Ghost and Dragon, psychic moves, dark moves, electric moves, just so much power with this Pokemon, and a Pokemon that's going to give you the edge in about 99% of your battles. But combined with the design and just the great typing, this is a must-have every time in Gen 8. So to recap, the Pokemon I prefer to use in Generation 8 are Cinderace, Appleton, Toxtricity, Hatterene, Dragapult, and Arctovish. Let me know in the comments what Pokemon you prefer to use in this generation. Don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and ding that bell so you know when videos are up. I am also Real Mama Eagle on all social media platforms, and I do live streams at twitch.tv/RealMamaEagle. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.